Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Tracadie Community Centre for today's important announcement. My name is Richard Furlong. I'm the Mayor of the Community of York, and I'll be acting as your MC today. Before we get underway, I'd like to take a moment to introduce our speakers for today's announcement. They are the Honourable Wade McLaughlin, Premier of Prince Edward Island, the Honourable Bernadette Jordan, Minister of Rural Economic Development, and, oh, sorry, there you are over there. First time meeting, you know. And the Egmont MP, Wayne Easter. And the Honourable Paula Beggar, Minister of Transportation, Infrastructure and Energy, and the Status of Women. I'd like to welcome Egmont MP Wayne Easter to bring the remarks. Wayne?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, I'm the MP for Malpeque, Prince Edward Island, and sitting over here is my colleague in the House of Commons, Bobby Morrissey, who's the MP from Egmont. Mr. Premier, Madam Minister, Minister Paula, other MLAs that are here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to be here today for today's announcement, which will make a real difference, I think, for families, businesses, and communities across Prince Edward Island. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Minister Bernadette Jordan, who's the Member of Parliament for South Shore, St. Margaret's, Nova Scotia, just across the way, on her first official visit to Prince Edward Island as Minister of Rural Economic Development. I would like to say that Bernadette is really not new to the rural files because she was chair of Atlantic Caucus, which is all the Atlantic MPs, and an active member of Rural Caucus, and it has to give her, I think, a warm feeling today to be able to announce what she has worked so hard for rural areas since her time of being elected in 2015. I know for me as Chair of Finance Committee, this is a great moment of satisfaction, this announcement that we're making today, because a lot of MPs have worked hard to get to this point, and Bobby's a member of Rural Caucus as well as I. As all of you know, solid modern infrastructure is vital to building strong rural communities and improving people's quality of life. It connects us, creates jobs, protects the environment, and boosts trade and our economy. That is why the Government of Canada is making unprecedented investments in infrastructure projects in communities across BEI and across Canada. Over the last few years, we've invested in over 60 projects throughout this province. This means highways and roads, water and wastewater projects, and we've also invested in important tourism projects and improved access to transportation services for all islanders. Hello, Mr. Premier and Madam Minister. I did run over a couple of potholes getting down here today. It's just that red island soil that's causing that problem. But that attracts tourists, so you got to take the good with the bad. This work is creating good jobs today while building a stronger economy and supporting community and development for years to come. These investments are not just about pipes and roads. They're a down payment on our long-term prosperity and a future where the people of Prince Edward Island can thrive. Today, the government of Prince Edward Island and Canada are making further investments in our province's infrastructure. To tell you more about this proposal today, it's with great pleasure that I introduce the Honourable Bernadette Jordan, Minister of Rural Economic Development. Welcome, Minister.
Well, good morning, everyone. Bobby, great to see you here today. Thank you, Wayne, Premier, Minister, Mayor. I've been on the road for the last few days, and I got to say I'm really happy to be back in Atlantic Canada. It's always nice to smell the ocean as soon as you get off a plane. But before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And this is my first time visiting PEI as the Minister of Rural Economic Development, and I'm thrilled to be here meeting and speaking with so many islanders as I tour this beautiful province. A key part of my mandate as Minister is to develop a rural economic strategy. Rural Canada is a key driver of our economic prosperity, but we know that certain barriers exist and make it hard for communities to reach their full potential. Our plan to help address these challenges so Canadians across Canada can thrive economically, enjoy a high quality of life, and be in a position to attract new businesses and residents. And I'm here today to help address those challenges, and I'm happy to be here in Tracadie to make this important announcement that is a step forward in addressing the needs of rural PEI, especially those with businesses and those who are unable to access municipal and provincial services easily. I'm very pleased to say that we will be contributing $33 million to the expansion and improvement of broadband and fixed wireless internet services across PEI. This project will deliver improved high-speed broadband internet services to nearly 30,000 residents that do not have a consistent and reliable internet connection. This means approximately 95% of islanders will have access to high-speed internet. These funds... Now, you know when I go home, they're going to say, when are we getting it? These funds will contribute to the installation of additional towers and hundreds of kilometers of fiber cable to expand the reach of service. The quality of service will also increase, creating a stable and faster broadband experience. Once complete, this project will meet or exceed the objective set by CRTC to connect all islanders with broadband speeds of 50-10 megabytes per second by 2021. It will create the new potential for innovation and economic development. It will help business owners connect with new markets, allow for better access to health services, and provide students with the ability to broaden their studies. Infrastructure investments like these play a large role in improving the quality of life of those in rural Canada. Today's announcement, along with those recently made by Bell and ExploreNet on broadband expansion, by way of the new accelerated investment incentive introduced in our fall economic statement, shows that our plan is working. We are committed to helping businesses grow and connecting them to the digital economy. By investing in infrastructure that communities need, our government is helping everyone contribute to and share in our nation's prosperity. This is how we create a bright future for islanders and for all Canadians, and I look forward to building it with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Jordan. I'll now invite the Honourable Paula Bigger, Minister of Transportation, Infrastructure and Energy and the Status of Women, to bring greetings from the province.
Thank you, Mayor, and podium guests that are already recognized, MP Bobby, my colleague, caucus colleague, Ian McPherson. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be here this morning. And on behalf of the Prince Edward Island government as Minister of Transportation, Infrastructure and Energy and Status of Women, to bring greetings to you all. Over the past 4 years, more than $447 million has been invested in infrastructure for island communities, along with over $120 million in provincial roads and bridges. Today's announcement is one of the largest infrastructure projects in the history of the island, and certainly the biggest project that will go from coast to coast and tip to tip. I represent the district of Tyne Valley Linkletter, and I can tell you firsthand how important quality, reliable internet is to the people in my district. Hundreds of constituencies and businesses across Prince Edward Island in my rural area all will benefit from this project to be connected to the world and to be able to do business better. That is the commitment we made to islanders, and this is a commitment today that we're following through on, and I'd like to invite our Premier, Wade McLaughlin, to the podium to do some further explanation on that and announcements. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Paula. Minister Bernadette Jordan, welcome. It's great to have you here in your capacity as Minister of Rural Economic Development. And MP Wayne, Bobby, and Mayor Furlong. I might also recognize that Mayor Ed McCauley of Three Rivers is with us, Peter Vrenz of the North Shore Council, and any other councillors who are here, and everyone who is present. Bonjour tout le monde. This is a big day for rural Prince Edward Island. We have the most rural province in Canada in terms of the makeup of our population. We've been proving that we can create and continue to sustain an economy that works and can work for all parts of our province. In the past 3 years, we've created 5,000 new full-time jobs in Prince Edward Island, and I'm proud to say, Minister Jordan, and to everyone here, that 3/4 of those jobs are in rural Prince Edward Island. And what we're here about today is ensuring that rural Prince Edward Island and rural communities and rural businesses and families can continue to thrive as we move forward. I can tell you that everyone that I know who's getting around talking to constituents and talking to people in our communities will come back with the report that the number one concern by people who are living in rural Prince Edward Island is internet service, to the point where we can seriously question whether our businesses can continue to grow and thrive, whether our communities can do well, including in their role of governance. We know that a number of our rural communities are concerned about the internet capacity to simply do the job of local government. And Mayor Furlong and I had this discussion as recently as last week. And not least of all for families. And I don't think there's anybody here that needs to be told that, quite simply, families are not going to be able to stay in rural communities because the kids won't stay unless there's full internet service at a pace that they can be part of the world that they're already kind of enjoying and growing and looking forward to in their future. And it's in that spirit, and further with the knowledge, as Minister Jordan has told us, that almost 30,000 Prince Edward Island households today do not have the mandated speed for today's internet, that we recognize that this is both an opportunity and a problem that requires a concerted solution. And Minister Jordan, we appreciate the announcement of the federal funding that will enable this project to go forward with private sector investment and with an investment from the province that will total $74 million to ensure that by 2021, those 30,000 homes have better than the mandated high-speed service. That's a big accomplishment for our province and for our further growth and sustainability. 30,000 homes. And more precisely, the first 6,000 of those homes will be served by the end of 2019, which is a remarkable thing in itself to say that, a year that we're already fully 3 months into, we're going to see that level of delivery. In 2020, a further 15,000 homes will be served, and by the end of 2021, all of those households will be served, all of those 30,000. That's a very ambitious agenda. It's one that involves a significant investment from the federal government, one that involves a significant private sector investment, and it will involve an investment of $3.5 million from the provincial government. And from the point of view of the provincial government, we are proud to say that from the point of view of the taxpayer, we're getting that kind of result for 30,000 households and community and the communities that they comprise in all parts of our province. What our province is doing in addition to the investment that makes up that $74 million, which is a very big thing, as Minister Bigger said, one of the biggest infrastructure projects in the modern history of our province. The province will invest and create a fund for a further $10 million, which will be at the rate of $2 million a year over 5 years, to work with all players in the private sector and to work with communities and businesses where there is a need that we can respond to, and to get what leverage we can in partnership with the federal government to ensure that we go further, that we meet further needs, that we continue to build the capacity in addition to the project that is being undertaken here today. And when you think about what that means for Prince Edward Island, that has been leading the country and showing the way and proving to people across Canada and throughout the world that our rural communities can thrive and do well and grow and create new jobs and grow our population, this opens the door, this opens the way for Prince Edward Island to be at a standard above any other province in the country for the coverage throughout rural Prince Edward Island. It opens the way for our families and our young people and our students to continue to do well in rural communities. It continues a path of growth and prosperity that means that we can identify particular opportunities to grow even better and provide an even better service so that all parts of our province can continue to grow and do well. And if I may finish with an analogy, I believe that we're standing here today talking about something that, in terms of its impact and in terms of the doors that it opens for Prince Edward Islanders throughout our province, is the equivalent of rural electrification. This is building capacity, it's opening up opportunity, and if we go back to thinking about what it meant to have electrification through our rural communities, it may have in some cases started with being able to have water for the farm animals. It may have been, probably one of the biggest conveniences was to have a washing machine as opposed to the old way of washing the clothes, or to have refrigeration, and all of the things that have followed on that. So as we stand here today, we only know the beginning of what this is going to allow us to do, of the convenience, of the capacity, of the growth that it's going to lead to. And it's most of all going to open up opportunity for families and communities and businesses throughout our province, and for Prince Edward Island to continue to lead as a province among all the provinces in Canada that thrives and grows and does well, and is sustainable as a province with great rural communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Premier. That concludes today's official program. I would like to take this opportunity as the Mayor of York to say we are a small community that has lobbied for better internet. And as the Premier mentioned, we did even meet last week. And the additional $10 million over 5 years that the PEI government is putting into continuous internet improvement should go a long way to bringing the rural areas of PEI up to the standard of internet service now enjoyed by many urban PEI residents, okay? So this is really quite good for us, and we were lobbying, as I say, even last week to take our internet down to the end of our road and pass. So thank you all for coming today. We are going to have some photos taken now. Once that concludes, there will be a general media availability for the speakers. Thanks again for coming out today.